Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Islands of Discord. In the last episode, the banished bandits were saved by the Balance Sisters faction after Simber jumped in to save poor little Dilemma from the stream. Now they're all taking refuge here, resting for a little while before it's time for them to continue on, because technically they haven't been taken in by the Balance Sisters yet. Those gems of theirs are still missing, stolen as if from their very bodies. So I'm sure that's going to be cause for concern in this episode. Or at the very least a cause of some sort of conversation, but we're going to wait until Quicksand returns for that. She's going to have her say in the matter too, after all. But after she just fought that Bergina in the darkness with New Killick, I have a feeling that she's going to have a very high opinion of him. She knows that he is a noble warrior indeed, so surely all of the creatures that he's aligned himself with must be just as noble too. I'm sure that she would enjoy some help with that claw of his as well, because up until now she's been the only one who can do any true damage. But right now, let's just make sure that everybody is comfortable. Or maybe we should go back to our bandits first. You know, the poor bandits didn't really get any love in the last episode. They didn't do too much moving around, and a lot of that was because their baby was still very, very young. Little Biba has only just grown her second gem, so she's only just able to go after bunnies herself. She has gotten so frustrated watching her mother and her brother try to chase these bunnies in circles because they're not quite strong enough to take them down in one swipe. But Biba is different. She has the bandit's spiky body, and she has that lovely claw too, blessed as if by Animeme herself. The bandit brothers are hoping that she's going to make an excellent head bandit someday, but that's only if they have the means to train her. And I guess lesson number 1 is going to be sneaking past this peaceful bear after all, though Misfit is doing a pretty good job distracting him too. He's already offered up a little bit of his nesting material, since he does love running through the savannas so much. It stands to reason that he probably has quite the collection of savanna grasses by now. So as we let him gather a little bit more grass with the peaceful bear, let's have the bandit brothers start clearing out a little pathway of their own. And snacks too, can't forget about that. You know that Biba is probably going to be very, very hungry when she gets here. So I guess that means that Kuvan's going to be building this little secluded path behind them. Oh, and was that the big nose? Yes, the big nose for picking up enough of this grass finally. 100 pieces of grass cleared on this island. So that's pretty cool. That's actually very, very fitting. Now that the bandits have decided to go back to their roots and explore the island more, moving from base to base instead of settling down in one place, the gods themselves have blessed them with a big nose to make their journey a little bit easier. So we'll have to keep that in mind for our next babies. Now we can have the big nose and the blessings of the goddess of war on our side too. Ooh, but let's make sure that we reset their ages before we forget. They're actually not quite as old as they were last time. I think we only have 11 days to remove from their lifespans. So strategy-wise, I guess this isn't the best time for them to unlock a new gene, but 11 days is still 11 days. And that does set them ahead of the Balance Sisters by a tiny, tiny bit, which is pretty much all that the Bandit brothers are concerned about at this point. So both of them have been set to the age of 10. To be honest, it's kind of ironic, because Lala has been really slowing down as of late. She only has 4 days remaining on her lifespan, and I'm sure that Orzel can probably see that she's really starting to struggle now. We'll have her come over here to pick up those extra berries too, and then maybe Orzel could sneak around the side, clear out a little bit of extra grass so she'll have a place to stop and rest if she needs it, because he's not sure if she's going to be able to sneak around the peaceful bear too. Oh, he is going to be pretty fed up with his brother once he finds him. Here's Misfit causing trouble again. While he might be trying to distract the bear for them, it's pretty clear that these two are sharing a bond now. And in Orzel's eyes, that's probably just another way that his brother is causing trouble for their family. First it was the Berginas in the darkness. Misfit just couldn't resist striking off and finding adventure for himself, and it caused him to lure away that wise old elder, the one warrior that they had in their midst. And then I'm sure you guys know the rest. So Orzel is just trying his best to protect his family from that ever happening again. But now that we're back in balanced territory, I wonder if it might be time for Seafoam to seek out a few more berries. I know that this berry bush is pretty much picked clean. Skitty has taken care of that after all. But I know that we have another one out here too. So go ahead and scoop up these berries for us, because I think that would be a pretty good way to ensure that your very first grandchild is going to be blessed with your one gift. The only mutation that the Balanced Sisters currently have under their control is the nimble fingers. So I'm thinking it might be a good idea for us to try to fill up Sky's mutation menu with those. I know she still has so much of her life to go, but she does have one of those no paws, and she did breed with a rogue male. So the nimble fingers would be much better than 2 no paws. So that's why Seafoam is going out of her way to collect so many berries. And as she focuses on amassing a nice big harvest, maybe it's time that we found a good place for you to actually build your nest. I'm sure that Simber is probably going to take care of that. Maybe we could just scoot Delimely out of the way? To be honest, I feel like she's probably a little bit wary of the water anyways, so she might prefer to come down here next to the oak tree itself. We'll have Sky set up right behind the rock. She can go ahead and build her very own nest right here. Simber is probably going to take over keeping track of these things afterwards. We need one of the females to build them, but then he should be able to repair it from here on out. So with that in mind, why don't you come on over here and grab every last little bit of grass you can reach. Maybe Crescent could even help you out with that. He still has all 3 of his turns to spare anyways, and I know he wants to find a way to repay Simber for his kindness. And as for you, Delimely, since I think you're going to be a little bit too frightened to try to stick your claws into the water, fishing is probably not the pastime for you. Let's have you use that big head of yours to see if you can knock down some more acorns for us. Somebody's gotta do the job, so it might as well be you. At least that gives you something else to focus on. No matter how tired she might be after fighting her way through that current, she hasn't lost a single bit of her spunk. I know that Nukilik is going to be very glad to see that too. That's probably something that he was worried about. I mean, aside from just the fact of whether or not she's still alive, he just wants to see her happy. Let's actually bring Delimely way over here next to Seafoam. That way she could let her know that she knocked down all of these acorns for her. And while she won't be very good at picking up these berries if she needs a little bit of help, she might be able to make sure that nobody else is going to steal it? Oh my gosh, wait a second. Oh, Seafoam. I didn't even realize that we had one of the healing fruits back here. Wait a second. That is so close, too. Did we just never see it because the kids were over here instead? Sky and Robin with their derp snouts. Oh, they probably just couldn't smell quite as deep into the darkness. Oh my gosh, you guys actually found some medicine to use? That is perfect. So maybe we could actually heal some of the damage that Delimely has taken. Or even Nukilik? He's so close to the end of his lifespan, though I know he's going to want to see Delimely healed first. So it all depends if that healing fruit is going to grow back in time for him. And it all depends if somebody else doesn't get too greedy in the process. Oh, Skitty, I can just see her like rolling her eyes right now. She is not one for all of this sentimental nonsense. In fact, she's probably still feeling pretty broken-hearted about the whole rogue male situation. Her love ended up being very, very unfaithful. So I don't know if she would even want to hang around here with this baby just about to be born. Maybe she would very quietly excuse herself, wander off in some different direction, though certainly not toward his home. Let's bring her all the way up here instead. I wonder if maybe she wants a little extra taste of berries, but she probably is also craving excitement. So we'll see if we can find her something else to do in the meantime. Now I think we should be ready to skip our first day here. So let's scoot on over to Sky and see what her very first baby is going to look like. Do you have the nimble fingers? It definitely doesn't look like it. Oh no, that's too bad. Little Delancey though, you are looking pretty adorable if I do say so myself. She actually looks like a little mouse or something. Oh, and Simber must just be over the moon, knowing that he has a brand new little baby to take care of. Not to mention, this is actually the baby of the baby that he took care of first. Sky was the one who taught him that he had such a soft spot for babysitting. So I can definitely see him fawning over this baby like no tomorrow. Ooh, but before we do that, let's see who's stealing our berries. Which one of you are being attacked by the bunnies right now? Because I definitely hear them stealing something. Oh, I wonder if it's you, Misfit? Yeah, that looks like a normal berry bush back there, and all these bunnies are currently hidden by those savanna grasses. They think you haven't noticed them, but they would be very wrong. The only problem is, just like your little brother and your mother, you're not going to be able to take them down in one swipe. So unless they're particularly foolish like this one, that means you're going to have to go darting off into the grasses again. Which is probably only going to fuel your brother's fire. As it is right now, he can only try his best to guide his mother over to the pathway. And as she glances back sadly at these berry bushes, oh, does she have time to steal just one more? She is still trying so very hard to concoct some sort of recipe, some sort of special potion that will bring her son back to perfect health. And now here we've found that the Balance Sisters actually have control over the healing fruits instead. That would be awfully disappointing if she learned that. I hope we can at least bring her to the next bandit base before she passes away. That way she can do a little bit more snooping around. I mean, she has the big nose too, so maybe she'll get lucky just like Seafoam did. I guess we can only hope. I wonder how Rodukro is feeling right now. After just gaining a brand new life, here he is reunited with his mate again, and she's feeling weaker than ever before. We know now that Rodukro is a very, very big romantic at heart, so this is probably going to be very hard for him to take. Every time some creature that he ends up falling in love with succumbs to their own natural lifespan, he's just going to have to watch as they slip away from him, time and time again. Because while I'm sure he's going to be dramatic about this, and when Lala goes, he'll say he'll never ever love again, you can bet that the next pretty lady he finds is going to be swept off of her feet too. So Biba, let's see how far you can get, because we really need to bring you over to the Bandit Brothers now. We'll have you settle down right in between them, that way they can finish clearing out the pathway, and hopefully that'll make it easier for Lala to get around too. Kuvan, you jump over here, grab those extra berries for her so she can regain her strength, and then cut open that very last passage, so Biba should be able to make her way over to the shore in the next turn. It's too bad that we don't have any water-breathing plants out this way. I think the only one we saw was way over here before. In fact, Orzel, you could probably find that for us. And we still can't use it. It hasn't quite grown back yet, so it wouldn't be something that we could put to good use anyways. But since you have a little bit more energy than the rest of your faction, you could actually hide right behind these thorns and watch on with complete and utter disdain as your big brother plays around with a peaceful bear instead of helping his own mother get through these weeds. Yeah, something tells me that these two are going to be butting heads quite a bit in their time here. Unless maybe Misfit decides that enough is enough, and he finally strikes off on his own. And look at this, Skitty. I think I may have finally found something a little bit more exciting for you. Let's bring her all the way up here so she can gobble up all these bugs for us. That way it won't cause any trouble for the rest of our creatures. But she can also get a pretty good look at this baby Berryina that they've taken in. It makes me wonder what she would think of this. And I'm sure it all depends if she ever ran into any Berryinas on her travels. She is a bit of an older creature, so I'm sure she's seen her fair share of dangers in her time. But this baby Berryina is clearly quite taken by Robin, and I feel like she's probably like his adoptive mother or something. Maybe we can try our best to feed him some extra berries while he's here. I'm sure that would be a very acquired taste for a Berryina. To be honest, he would probably just spit it right back out at her feet. You're gonna have to try a little bit harder than that if you want to be a good mother to a baby Berryina, and it's certainly no easy task. Now Quicksand, let's have you jump down here, leaving the Berryina with Robin. You can guide Nukillik straight back to Little Dilemily. It's about time that these two reunited too. I can see it being a very tearful reunion. Nukillik just so happy to see that she's actually alive. But then we have the situation of the healing plant right behind that berry bush. So as Seafoam has certainly noticed it by now, let's bring her over here so she can not only grab those extra little berries, but she should be able to uncover this for us too. I guess there's no use in leaving it all covered up. Oh my gosh. Oh, there are actually 2 healing fruits here. Are you kidding me? Alright, Nukelek, I guess we don't have to wonder anymore. It looks like you're going to have some medicine too, right alongside Dilemmaly. See, he would be willing to take the medicine as long as he knows that she's safe first. So let's bring him over here too. And I guess you two can share a nice healthy meal together, especially before those pesky bunnies get any ideas first. So Dilemmaly, go ahead and gobble up this one, melting away all of that damage. And Nukelek, I wonder if that's going to be enough for you too? No, it looks like he still has 2 days worth of damage on his lifespan. Those old wounds that he sustained were just a little bit too much for him. But honestly, that kind of makes sense. He is much older than Dilemmaly is, so surely it would take longer for him to heal. But that's the 2nd time now that the Balance Sisters have saved our banished bandits. So I've got to be honest, they have quite a bit to repay them for. That's probably sitting in the back of Quicksand's mind too. Like, well, her sister always has that sweet open heart of hers, and that's part of the reason why she's currently about to give birth again. Quicksand has always been a little bit more cautious, at least when it comes to strangers anyways. I'm sure in the back of her mind she's probably concerned that it might not be a good idea to pick up every single stray that they find. Especially once they figure out that they actually came from the bandit side of things. That would probably be a little bit worrying too. Who knows what sort of tricks and schemes they might have up their sleeve. But again, I think it's the fact that she fought right alongside Nukelek that's going to be the thing to save him. She knows that he is no conniving bandit. He is noble and he is just. So as long as they can prove that that wasn't some sort of fluke, maybe there is hope for them finding a home here after all. We'll have this little group chat overnight, as Crescent stays here to continue picking up the grasses for his friend, and maybe even jumping down here too to grab some of those extra berries. Gotta make sure that none of those pesky bunnies are coming this far. It's so close to the shore too, and with those frog toes of his, I'll bet he would enjoy taking a nice quick dip in the ocean at some point. Maybe he could even help teach the new little baby how to swim. Not that that went particularly well for Dilemmaly, but at least the ocean is a little bit less rough than this giant waterfall right here. Maybe Delancey will have a little bit more luck. I guess we might as well give Sky some time to settle in right now. We'll have her spend the extra night right next to Delancey's side, and I'm sure that Simber isn't going anywhere either. It's too bad that they don't have any roots to dig up right now. Everything seems pretty far away. The only thing they could possibly do is try to crack open some of these acorns. But I didn't really want to see that unlock right now. Oh no! The Cracker Jaw has unlocked for the Balance Sisters. I mean, that's not a bad thing. You know that they have pretty much taken control of the cracking side of things anyways. So now they have the shells under their control, they have the acorns. I guess that means the bandits are truly going to have to rely on stealth and stealing after all. It does indeed fit their story. Unless they can find somebody with the nimble fingers already on them to invite to their faction, it's going to be pretty hard for them to steal from those crabbits now. So that means you two, you're only taking 5 days off of your lifespan. Well, look at that, and now it turns out that you two are actually ahead of the bandits. Both of our factions have unlocked a brand new gift in this episode. Actually, just like how the bandits have full control over Animeme's blessings, now you could say that the Balance Sisters have full control over Vankir's. They have his Cracker Jaw, and they have his nimble fingers too. Oh, and Skitty, we have one more turn with you, so let's have you grab that one last extra berry off of the bush. You'll probably need a little bit of extra food anyways if you are going to journey out searching for adventure. So let's go ahead and skip the day once more. We'll stay over here with the bandits to see where this peaceful bear is going to go. Though it looks like he's still pretty much frozen in place. I guess that means that all of your nested material has done him very, very well. He's nice and full now, so he's just lazing around for the time being. I wonder if he's even dipping his fingers in there to grab a couple of those cactus berries off of the bush. I mean, your defense is high enough. You probably wouldn't even feel the scratches from those thorns. It would be nice if we can convince the peaceful bear to offer us up a little bit of food too. But I guess, Misfit, you're going to have to be the one to take care of it for now. Maybe those are even pointers that he's learned from the bear too. And Orzel is still looking on with that same old brand of disgust. He can't believe that his brother would be wasting time away out here in the savannas when they have to guide their family across these tide pools now. Well, let's make sure that Kuvan goes ahead and grabs those berries, and then Rodukra will gently nudge his mate out to the ocean. Only 2 days remaining on our lifespan too. We better make sure that you don't run into any leeches out here. In fact, maybe somebody else should take the lead. We could bring Biba over to the sand dune. We could have her settle down right here, kind of right in the line of sight of the peaceful bear, to be honest. But as long as he's not moving, I think you guys are probably fine. That being said, the bandit brothers are definitely going to want to get out of there fast. We'll have Rodukra jump here, then right across the water, straight over to the coconut tree itself. Actually, you better sniff around while you're here. This is awfully close to the place where you found that defender pair last. Oh, let's cross our fingers that he didn't notice us. Misfit actually just took down a bunny, too. So, surely if the defender bear was around, he probably would have noticed that. Maybe we're in the clear. But we're still going to make sure that the bandit brothers are sticking very close together. Kuvan, I suppose, is going to have to settle down right inside the ocean for now. We don't have too much room to settle underneath the coconut tree, I'm afraid. You two are going to have to see if you can grab a couple of those, though. I mean, we wouldn't be able to call them bandits anymore if they didn't at least try. In fact, that would be a good way to try to train Biba. If she could find a way to crack open this last little coconut down here, that would definitely prove that she is lead bandit material. Now, Orzel, we're going to do something a little bit different with you. Let's actually bring you up this way, so you'll be able to confront your brother. As long as all of the dangers are still far, far away. At least as far as our poor poison fangs can actually smell. And now, Lala, as the last one to cross, let's bring you over to the other side too. We'll have you settle down a little bit closer to the actual shoreline, because goodness knows you're going to need that extra little push to get you up to dry, solid land. Oh, and there's the defender bear. You are right in the middle of Orzel's swamp. Oh my gosh, no wonder he isn't a fan of the bears. It seems like the bears aren't going to be a very big fan of him either. Well, as long as they stay out of each other's way. I was actually hoping that he could settle down over here to pick some poison berries, because there must be something good for him to munch on, right? Oh, but that is not going to do if we have a defender bear in our midst. Who knows if he's just going to turn around and snap on us. I've seen a lot of reports of defender bears just hitting creatures at random, even when they're not technically involved with the actual violence. So we are going to have to be very, very careful going forward. Maybe it's a good thing the bandits saw their extra life today. Gosh, this little baby bear Yina is just smitten with you though. Could you guys think of a good name for our new friendly bear Yina? Maybe even something that relates to birds in a way, just like how her name is Robin and her sister's name is Sky. Something to go along with that theme too. While we can't actually rename the friendly bear Yinas like we used to be able to, since we can't click on the name right here, I do prefer to have an actual name to call them rather than just friendly bear Yina. This bear Yina is 100% Sky's big baby anyways, so of course she would give him a name. Let's actually see if she could lead him a little bit closer to Nukilik if we can. I don't think she realized how much motherhood was going to take up her free time. Oh, and hello. Are you conspiring with the bunnies now? Letting them steal the berries so they can offer them up to you instead? Oh, how fascinating. Maybe we should have you follow the bunnies to see where your next berry meal is going to be. Or are they leading you straight to the poison berries? Jeez, little bunny. Trying to get rid of the competition, like literally. Just feed her poison berries instead. You know, she could probably do a number on Termite City, too. If only she had somebody to help her. She certainly won't be able to convince Robin. Robin is far too busy, and honestly, So is pretty much everybody else in Balanced territory. Oh, little Delancey, let's go ahead and give you your very first gem, too. She has a lean body too, doesn't she? Just like Delemily. So she's going to be one speedy little mouse. Maybe she could actually learn a thing or two from Delemily herself, as long as that doesn't involve diving headfirst into the water at any point. But yeah, I'm really starting to think that Skitty is just going to set off on her own. With or without those gems of balance to keep her grounded, these are just not the types of creatures that she's used to hanging around. Now let's finally head back to our banished bandits again. Our banished bandits no longer, because I think that the Balance sisters are willing to hear them out. They probably have a sneaking suspicion that there might be some connection to the bandits already. They know the bandit brothers play very, very rough, and they wouldn't be surprised if they threw away the creatures who could no longer serve them, like some sort of broken toys or something. So, despite Seafoam's reservations, she would be willing to take them in too, as long as they promised to do their part. And it's not as though the banished bandits would be able to say no, because the Balance sisters have saved them from their injuries too. So I think New Killick is going to take it upon himself to help clear out this area, to make the healing glade an actual safe space for injured creatures to come to, hopefully with guards posted all around too. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, the moment that one of the bandits catches a whiff of this, they are going to want to take this for themselves. Even if Lala has already passed at that point. I mean, Rodukra and Kuvan wouldn't just let the Balance sisters keep every last healing fruit under their thumb. They're going to want a taste of this too. So you two are going to have quite a bit of work ahead of you. But before we can do anything, we're going to have to change the color of your gems. Let's finally give them their gems back. But this time it's not the sneaky silver color of the bandits, but the bright blue shade of balance. And as energy courses through them once more, I'm sure New Killick feels very much invigorated already, as if that healing fruit hadn't done enough. He is going to set to carving out every last one of these weeds, with Delemily right by his side. She's probably much happier out here anyways, because she can't see a single glimpse of water from this point. The ocean is far enough away that she has nothing to fear, and the stream is just a distant memory now. So the Balance sisters might still have a little bit of talking to do about Seafoam's very, very soft heart. But at least this is one decision that she can get behind 100%. She knows that this was the right choice to make. That does leave out poor Crescent, though. He wasn't technically part of the original Banished Bandits, and he wasn't around to receive their blessings either, the poor thing. I'm sure that Simber would vouch for him, though. Once the Balance sisters make it back to the main part of camp, maybe he could see if Crescent would like to join them too. I'm sure it beats hopping off on his own. All the poor guy ever really wanted was a friend anyways. Why don't we go ahead and give Sky a little bit of time to stretch her legs while she's at it? She's probably tired of being all cooped up anyways, and I'm sure she would be very interested to see her sister's new baby. Let's have her go ahead and clear out the weeds around here too, letting up an easier pathway to the berry bush, but also an easier pathway for the Berryina baby to take. I just hope he isn't so old now that he's going to stop listening to Robin. I wonder if he's going to get these two confused, actually. Like I said before, they are the perfect twins, so it's not like it would be very hard to get one mistaken for the other. Well, I think we should be ready to skip the day again. And I believe that this is also going to be Lala's very last turn. She only has one more chance to make it out of the ocean. Oh no, and the peaceful bear has noticed them, hasn't he? Well, at least the defender bear seems to be far enough away. You really need to warn your mate about him, though, otherwise he's going to get a little bit too greedy with his bunnies. Since Biba is so tiny, it kind of makes me wonder if maybe the peaceful bear is just coming over to, like, protect her or something. He probably thinks that the poor thing is all alone and just needs somebody to take care of her, just like he used to do for all of the Balance sisters' children. In fact, this is probably very nostalgic for him, but unfortunately Biba is not so trusting. In fact, this also means that her mission has kind of failed. She is not very good at stealth missions, so that's something that she and her father are going to have to brush up on. But as we haul Lala out of the ocean, We'll make sure that her entire family is gathered right beside her. We could bring Rodukro over here, which should still be far enough away from the Defender pair, right? I'm just so worried that he's going to spin around and decide to attack us for some reason, but we should be okay for now. None of you guys have caught any bunnies in a while? Well, I shouldn't say that, should I? Kuvan, you are going on quite the hunting spree over here with Misfit. And ironically, Misfit is probably the only one who doesn't realize the true extent of his mother's fatigue. Here he is just selfishly picking his berries in his brother's eyes. So as we bring Orzel to his side... Oh, right next to a poison berry bush too. Oh, are you going to make yourself look like a complete hypocrite? I mean, Orzel can't possibly resist grabbing a few of these poison berries, can he? These are his very favorite snack. He hasn't had a poison berry since all the way back here at one of their original bases. Oh, Orzel, how can you possibly yell at your brother now for wasting time picking berries when you yourself can't resist gorging on them too? And at least the normal berries are perfect as a meal for the rest of the family. The poison berries are a bit more of an acquired taste. But that means that both the boys won't be here to see their mother pass away. And I'm sure that's really going to eat away at Orzel. Those two were always the closest. How fitting too that the rains have come, as if to make this day feel even gloomier than it already is. But we'll let her spend one last night with Rodukro, and then in the next episode, it'll be time for the bandits to resume their mission. In fact, it'll be time for Biba to resume her training, something a little bit harder than the last one since she's already slipped up. I guess we could have her try to steal those coconuts just like we wanted the brothers to do, but let me know if you guys have any other ideas for training missions that we could send her on. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!